The second example we've got, or the second lesson we've got in this 5 lesson Friday, is the expression out of the question. Out of the question. Now, don't forget, for 5 lesson Friday, head along to getenglishtips.com and you can subscribe by email. But out of the question, what's this one? What does it actually mean? Well, you've probably heard it because it is very, very common. Out of the question just means that something is impossible or it's not allowed. You cannot do it. It's impossible or it's not allowed because perhaps it's unacceptable or impractical. And it really suggests that the idea or proposal is off the table and is not open for discussion. Okay, so if something's out of the question, we don't want to talk about it because we don't want to discuss it because it's unacceptable or impractical. Really good one to use, especially, I guess, if you're an intermediate or even a pre-intermediate level English student. It's a really good one to put into your vocabulary. Really impress people when you say it. So, because it means that that it's impossible or impractical to do, let's have a look at a couple of examples and see how we can put it into context. The first example for out of the question: I'm sorry, but going on vacation, going on holiday next week is out of the question. We simply cannot afford it. Can't go on holiday next week. It's out of the question because I cannot afford it. It's impossible because there's not enough money. So, as you can see there, we're really stressing the reason why you cannot do this activity. It's out of the question because we don't have enough money. Second example we've got is having a party while your parents are away. It's out of the question. We're not allowed to have this party. It's against the rules because our parents would not approve of it. So it's out of the question. Third example we've got is buying a car without test driving it first is out of the question. It's just not practical, is it? If you go and buy a car, you're going to test drive it. You wouldn't buy a car. It would be out of the question to buy a car and not test drive it, right? Because you're going to be spending a lot of money. So this is why we would use it here. Buying a car without test driving it first is out of the question. It's too risky to spend all that money and find out that the car doesn't run properly. So there's a couple of examples for out of the question. Let's see if you can make your own example. Head along to our Facebook community, Get English Tips, and leave your example, and I will check it for you. You can type it, or you can drop a short video, and I'll listen to you. Practice speaking, very important. So, what other similar phrases or expressions can we use for out of the question? First one we've got, very similar, is not an option. Going on holiday is not an option because we don't have any money. Very similar. Going on holiday is not feasible. Very similar. So this is, not an option and not feasible. All express a similar idea of something being not possible or impractical. The main difference is out of the question really emphasizes that something is off the table and not open for discussion. Not open for discussion. Something's off the table. Another great phrase, just means we're not going to discuss it. So there we go. Examples for out of the question. As I mentioned, head along to the Get English Tips Facebook page. Leave your example, and as always, I will check it for you. Out of the question. Great one to use.